Folks, I predicted last year, maybe even beyond that Ron DeSantis, when he eventually ran for president, would absolutely collapse on the national stage. And that is exactly what's happening here. But the one thing I could not have predicted is how spectacularly and, of course, how quickly Ron DeSantis collapsed on the national stage. Because what we are seeing right now with his campaign is absolutely without precedent. We're talking about a man who at the start of this year was winning that Republican race. He was tied neck and neck with Donald Trump nationally, but he was winning in the early states of Iowa and New Hampshire. Those leads are ancient history at this point. The financial advantage that Ron DeSantis had based on this past weekend's financial disclosures is gone. Ron DeSantis is hemorrhaging money. He has spent $8 million in the last 6 weeks to watch his polls drop by 8 points. Essentially, every $1 million that Ron DeSantis spends on his campaign drops him 1 point in the polls. I mean, I never would have predicted it was going to be this bad for Ron DeSantis, and I am loving every second of it, and I am going to talk about it and just basically in real time enjoy the downfall of DeSantis's campaign and report on it as it happens in real time. Now, here's the thing. DeSantis has about $12 million in the bank right now, but he also has $130 million in a super PAC that can raise unlimited money, but he's kind of limited on what he is able to spend from that on his presidential campaign. But his fundraising is starting to lag. And the problem he has, according to this new report here from NBC News, is that more than 2/3 of DeSantis's money, nearly $14 million, came from donors who gave the legal maximum and cannot donate again. So 2/3 of his money is from people who cannot give him any more money. He's tapped them out. He can't go back to them. He's losing support. His donors came out a couple days ago and said, please stop doing, quote, stupid things. Well, he's not going to stop doing stupid things. It's who he is. So they are starting to look at other Republican candidates. I talked about this a week ago. They're moving over to Tim Scott. Some of them are moving over to Nikki Haley. But they're abandoning DeSantis because he is an absolute disaster. And of course, with the money problems, not only is he hemorrhaging money, he's now hemorrhaging staffers. He's had to fire 12 people just this week, mid-level people, not the lower level folks. And they say that more cuts are on the way. When you see campaigns start shuttering down, staffers, they start clawing back state operations. Once that starts happening, it's over. You're done. They do not recover from things like this. And granted, I'll give him this, DeSantis did have the biggest overall staff of any Republican running for president. So, yes, that's where a lot of the money went. But once these reports hit, once people start to see you as a loser, they're never going to see you as anything else. And you're not going to be able to regain that former glory that you had. Now, having said all that, it's not just Ron DeSantis. Basically, the filings that we saw come out this past weekend, they show that Trump's got this thing on lockdown. May as well end it right now. He is their nominee. No other Republicans raised more than $6 million from donors into their campaign accounts, with North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy exceeding that number only by tapping their own personal wealth. Personally, I hope they both go bankrupt on their idiotic campaigns for president. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott's campaign raised almost $5.9 million, while former ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley's campaign raised $5.3 million, and two candidates who waited until June to jump in posted lower numbers. Chris Christie raised $1.7 million, and former Vice President Mike Pence raised $1.2 million. It gets even dumber and funnier. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, who raised just $580,000, said in a statement that his campaign had only 3,928 unique donors in the second quarter. But he also had another 2,500 in the first week of July. But he needs 6 times that many to hit the threshold to show up for that first Republican debate. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez's report names only 352 unique donors, and he raised less than $29,000. And former Texas Representative Will Hurd's report names only 193 unique donors, and they raised $54,000. So you got a lot of Republicans that are not going to make it onto that very first debate stage, and they're not going to make it on the subsequent debate stages because the qualifications get much tougher after that. So DeSantis is going down. The only person who's actually rising for some reason is Vivek Ramaswamy. So he has the most to lose at this point because he's on the upswing. Everybody else is going down the toilet except for Donald Trump. So by the time we get to the actual primary voting, the only people left with enough money to run for president on the Republican side may be Trump and Ramaswamy. So we'll see. Things are getting pretty stupid, and it looks like a lot of Republicans are quite literally going for broke right now.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and well, here comes the awkward part at the end of the video where I ask you to like, comment, and share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. Also, you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description.